All right. Good evening, everybody. And thank you for joining us on this beautiful fall evening. We want to welcome you to the Bellevue College Foundation Donor and Scholar virtual celebration presented by our friends at Puget Sound Energy. I am CJ Jimenez. I am a member of the Bellevue College Foundation Board and also a professor at Bellevue College. So I sit here with great pride, and I'm really excited to share what the scholars have to say with you guys. Before we begin, we are going to acknowledge and take a time to pause and recognize that Bellevue College resides on the traditional land of the Coast Salish people that includes, but is not limited to Snoqualmie, Suquamish, Muckleshoot, and Tulalip peoples, past and present. We acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish people, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish tribe. Remember their connection to the region and recognize their suffering due to systemic oppression. We commit to using our education and our agency to acknowledge and work to make systemic change in support of Indigenous rights, including federal recognition of the Duwamish. Additionally, we would like to say Happy Diwali. May this Diwali year be filled with new blessings and colorful and bright as the lights of Diwali. Joy and just sheer gaiety surround you and your family forever. Happy Diwali. So a little housekeeping before we get started. If you are interested and you would like to have subtitles for this event, what you do is you click on the show subtitle button on your toolbar. Today, we're going to be hearing from a panel of scholarship recipients. And this evening is fueled by your questions. We're really going to drive this conversation. It's going to be live and it's going to be engaging and powerful. So on the toolbar, more housekeeping, on the toolbar, you will find the Q&A button. So at any time during this presentation or this chat, you can feel free to add questions to be answered. Now, it is my honor to hand it over and introduce a fellow board member of mine who I am proud to say I'm sharing, but I've had to say she was one of the attractive features of joining the board. She is a talent in human services. She's dedicated to the board. She's been on it for more than 7 years. She could tell you a lot about her favorite projects, but of significance, she really worked really hard with the school district, Bellevue School District, in addressing some serious needs. And those are just examples of the people that are working with Bellevue College Foundation. And that's Lisa. She's our president. And I'm gonna let her talk, and then we're gonna take it from there. Lisa.
Thank you, CJ, and it is an honor to work with an enthusiastic faculty and board member like you. My name is Lisa Brock, and I have the honor of serving as the president of the Bellevue College Foundation. Thank you for joining us tonight. It is going to be a virtual event, and we are excited to have you with us. I first want to thank our signature partner tonight, Puget Sound Energy. Thank you for your tremendous support. It is greatly appreciated. Next, I want to thank our generous donors. Without you, this night couldn't be possible. This year, we have awarded more than $490,000 in scholarship money to more than 287 students. This work wouldn't be possible without you, and this evening wouldn't be possible without you. We are gathering virtually with our students who are also an amazing group of individuals. But our donors, a little bit more about them. They are a group of volunteers that care deeply about education in this community. They include faculty, staff, the Board of Trustees, alumni, parents, and community leaders. We thank you again for your generous donations. And our scholarship recipients, congratulations, and it is great to be with you tonight. You are also a diverse group. We have everything from a single mom who is starting a new career to a first generation college student who traveled many miles to make their educational dreams come true. We have veterans, we have athletes, we have international students, and you are all amazing. In addition to scholarships, I want to tell you a little bit about what else the foundation supports at Bellevue College. We also support students through emergency aid, and we fund quality education programming through their mini grant program and the Lockwood Faculty Excellent Grant. We also support faculty and staff through our BC Excellence Awards. These individuals go above and beyond for students. Finally, I'd like to recognize and thank my fellow board members. This is a group of dedicated volunteers that include business, community, and educational leaders that come together to raise money for Bellevue College and our students. It is an honor and a pleasure to serve with you. Now I would like to hand it back to CJ, who will get us started with our incredible student panelists.
Thanks, Lisa. All right. So, like we just said, we have some great panelists here. So let's just do some introductions. I introduced myself, but in case you didn't catch it, I'm CJ. I'm a board member. I'm a professor at the Business Transfer Program in Social Sciences, teaching the very lovely subject of business law. And our panelists are going to introduce themselves, but their names are Alvaro Vargas, Mariemi Tolentina, and Selena Lee. So why don't we have the panelists start? How about Alvaro? Would you like to start, please?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Alvaro Vargas, and I've been a student at Bellevue College since January 2020, and I am pursuing a degree in data analytics.
Thank you. All right, how about you, Selena?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. I'm Selena, and I'm a freshman here at BC pursuing my business transfer degree, and I'm also a part of the BC Women's Golf Team.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mariemi Tolentina, and I am a third-year interior design student here in Bellevue College. This is my second time being granted the Walter Baz Interior Design Scholarship, which I will be forever be grateful of. And I am a Mandaya. I belong in an indigenous group of people in the Philippines, and I moved here in the United States over 3 years ago. And I just recently started an organization of artists and architecture students in my tribe. Thank you.
Thank you, scholars. Okay, so like I said, this event is fueled by questions. And so tonight we have collected questions for our scholar panels from attendees prior to the event, but we would also love for you folks right now in the audience to submit their questions as well. So please send us your questions right now using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. And all you have to do is type in your question and submit it, and we'll make sure that it lands to the scholars. And you can make it a general question, or you can make it specific to one student of the panel. So let's get started. And I will start us off with a very open and broad question to the three of you of why you chose Bellevue College.
I chose Bellevue College because I had been to many schools before Bellevue, and I never got the full experience of a supportive staff and faculty in college. And as soon as I started taking classes at Bellevue College, I noticed right away how well run the school was, how supportive the staff was, and it just instilled in me the confidence to know that I was in a campus that was really well run and did everything it could to support its students.
Mary, here you go.
I chose Bellevue College because at that time when I was choosing a school, I believed that Bellevue College was the safest and most convenient college for me. I moved here in the United States as a senior high school student and shifting from a very different society with a different educational system to another and having to adapt a new environment while making a decision that will determine your future was hard for me, especially that I have to figure it all out in just one school year. So when I was browsing for colleges, I was considering affordability, location, and educational values. And I think that Bellevue College fits everything perfect.
Selena?
Yeah, so actually the interesting thing is my cousins, all of my cousins, they've graduated BC, they've had amazing experience, and Bellevue College for me personally has been a great experience since I've moved here from my hometown back in South Korea. It's never been difficult adjusting to new classes. I think the biggest difference about Bellevue College compared to other schools is how diverse, welcoming students, staffs, and even faculty members are. And seeing students from around the world and just being able to share cultures with them have always been such an enjoyable experience to me.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a specific question now, unless someone is dying to ask a question. So my first question will be for Alvaro. Alvaro, what's an inspiration you hope BC would have for itself to better serve students?
I think Bellevue College is doing a really good job of doing everything it can to accommodate students of all backgrounds. And I think that's something that Bellevue College should continue to push forward and really, emphasize the fact that it has a very diverse student population, and it does everything it can to serve every individual student as best as it can.
So would you say that the school certainly has, do you feel that being a person where you came from, do you feel the school was welcoming? I want to know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
seems like a warm place for people. They feel welcome. They feel like they can be leaders here. And I like to hear that
Right.
from scholars. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. The services it provides are, they keep in mind the unique struggles that, students face, coming from different backgrounds, and the challenges that they face as either part-time or full-time students. And I feel that the school is doing a really good job, and it should continue pushing forward with that. So.
Okay. So let me see. Another question. Let's take it over to one of the two ladies, Selena or Mary. What about Selena? You kind of mentioned that your family is BC. And would you say that there have been any people at BC who have been important to your success so far?
Yeah, I believe that there are countless of people here at our school, including many special relationships that I've created, just in my first year at BC with friends, professors, staffs, and most importantly, my second home, my golf team. I trained several years since a little kid in Korea, and starting a new chapter of my golf career in a completely different world, I say, was more than terrifying. But luckily, I was able to meet the most supporting and genuine group of people that welcomed me like family and who supported me throughout this whole season. The same went for our coach. He provided everything I needed, from gears, advice, and created the most welcoming and comfortable environment within the golf teams. Playing golf at BC with just one of the best teams in the Northwest drove a huge motivation to my success, of course, in both in athletics and academics. And I'm more than grateful for this amazing group of people that Bellevue College connected me with. And I'm very looking forward to our next season, which is very exciting.
Okay, we'll have to know about it because that's just really cool. You think about that college, golf, it's nice. All right. Next question. Let's see, to all of you. How would the experience be if you didn't have a scholarship at BC?
I think it would be more challenging to attend classes, especially this quarter. There were some issues with my FAFSA this quarter that are still being resolved. So the scholarship really helped, fill that gap that would have been there had I, if for not having those funds there right away. It really helped me continue my studies. And if that had not happened, I would have been set back a whole quarter. So that really helped me out.
The scholarship took off a big financial burden for me. If I wasn't granted the Walter Bass Interior Design Scholarship, I would probably still be working 2 jobs while being a full-time design student.
Yeah, just as our friends mentioned, I think it would have definitely been extremely difficult, especially as an athlete and a student. It's really hard to incorporate both of them in your daily lives, and especially if the scholarship wasn't granted, I would have had a hard time working and going to practices and tournaments, also keeping up with academics. So yes, it has made me live daily life very comfortably and grateful.
All right, so I'm gonna go to some of the questions that we have. So first thing, a comment from Trustee Weller. Thank you all so much for sharing with us. You make your BC family so proud, absolutely. So here's a question. Do you have any ideas about how your BC family, staff, leaders, the foundation can continue to help you beyond BC?
There's one, suggestion that I would make is, for the school to really provide, spaces for students where they can go and study and, find just a quiet place, to study, to do their homework, to focus on their studies, because there's been times where, for example, today I'm having issues with my internet connection. And it's happened to where what's happened is I've had issues, in courses where I needed the reliable internet connection, and because of the hours of certain facilities like the library and certain areas of the campus are not open at certain times, I've struggled to really find a spot to where I can find a reliable internet connection. So I know this campus is limited in what it can provide due to COVID restrictions, but just providing spaces for students to work in is a suggestion I would make.
Nothing else from you girls? About suggestions on maybe, how we can, as your BC family, help you now and beyond BC?
COVID really impacted like everyone, especially the educational system. And if we were like be able to go back to the campus by winter, I think like one suggestion is to allow students to be connected more, even though like there are still certain restrictions, like just allowing them to connect to more students on like the same level of interests with them, while thinking about the health and what's good for other people, even though the COVID is still around.
Talking about COVID a little bit, could you guys share, or are you comfortable sharing with what has been unique challenges that you've had to navigate with COVID? What were the biggest struggles and what were the biggest challenges you overcame during COVID and learning?
It was pretty hard for me at the start, like shifting from traditional to just being completely online. And I think that Bellevue College really did a great job addressing the issue. On the very first year, of me struggling, it was more on the, because I am a design student, and there are certain specifications for computers, and it was hard for me to try to look for how I could do my school stuff. And Bellevue College has provided the remote desktop, so I am very thankful for that.
Yeah, so when I graduated my senior year last year, it was all online. It was a a little difficult to adjust. Again, as Mary mentioned, from seeing your friends, your teachers, and learning in person, and now just behind a screen. I'd be lying if I say I wasn't too motivated to do everything, including schoolwork. And then I was a little worried going on to college. I'm expecting more work, more difficult work, and I was a little terrified. But the Canvas website, it was my first time using that because back in Korea, we don't use any websites for classes, but it was very well organized, as well as everything you needed to know for each class, and contact information, everything was very, very well organized, which helped me a lot in adjusting to this new online learning and everything. So I think that really helped me overcome my struggle for COVID.
Yeah, so one of the biggest challenges for me was just dealing with the whole uncertainty of COVID and what would happen with my, with my job, with my school. Were they going to shut down campus? Just dealing with the uncertainty day by day, and eventually it ended up, remote learning specifically ended up being a blessing in disguise, because as a working student, it can be really hard to fit your schedule into your studies. And, going fully remote, I was able to take certain classes that normally weren't available online. And that was actually helpful for me in that respect. So.
Mary, we have an audience member that wants to let you know that many clubs are still active. There's lots of ways to connect with students. All right. Okay. Let's keep on moving on. So one next question that I would like to I'm going to present this one to Selena. What would you share? And you love golf. We got that. And, that's good. What would you say, though, has been your most challenging experience at BC?
As I mentioned earlier, the most challenging part of my BC experience doesn't necessarily have to do with school itself, but it has to be just starting off new, in the States, where I grew up in South Korea and moved in Bellevue a couple years ago, where I started brand new. And you can only imagine how terrifying that was when I didn't know a single person, did not really know the language as well. And, transitioning wasn't easy, but BC and the community has always made me feel welcomed and like home, which helped me feel comfortable always when I'm at school. And just starting this new chapter of my life at such a positive environment just helped me overcome my fears and enjoy my experiences at school.
So, Mary, if you were to have a brand new fresh student say, knock, knock, what can you tell me about BC? What should I do? What advice would you give to a brand new student?
For a new student, I would say expand your network and grow a strong connection with people in Bellevue College, especially the ones who are of the same interests as you. This is beneficial for both the present and the future, as entering students adjust to the realities of new living arrangements and relationships. Making connections with other individuals is extremely crucial. College can be stressful, and connections can relieve some of it. Moreover, students can use networking to connect with future employers and colleagues of their profession, as well as receive guidance, support, and encouragement.
So along that, about what's encouraging, how do you find yourself being a person that encourages others?
How do I find myself?
Yeah, you guys are great stories. How do you find, your stories are so encouraging. How can you share that with somebody else? It's great. So, you're sharing your experience at BC and you're encouraging others. Is there anything else you would share? I know you're saying like network, and this is for the whole group as well, but networking and connecting. And I agree 100%. Anything else? Any other tips?
that I could share for other students?
Mhm.
Right now, that's all that I could think of.
All right. Well, how about, is there any questions that you guys, all three of you, would have liked to have asked that you perhaps didn't ask yourselves or did not ask of the school? Questions that you may have had? Or do you know, or is there something you found out that we should have known about? No, we're just doing a great job. No, we're just joking. No, it's a great school. I'm just really proud of you guys, and I want to share your story, you know. All right. So let's move away from COVID, and we've talked a little bit about how the experience has been very positive. You have a scholarship. Let's just on academics. What work are you most proud of? Academic work.
I think just being a student and being able to also just dedicate your time and your effort into the schoolwork and seeing that in your grades. I never thought in high school or before that, I've never really thought of grades as, you know, the biggest part of your school. And I've enjoyed the experience more than studying at school. But here at BC, you know, just enjoying the time, I was able to keep up with my grades, with sports and everything, also with club activities. So that's definitely my biggest goal that I've achieved at BC scholar wise.
Mary or Alvaro, you guys want to share any other successes?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest successes for me has been how much I've grown in my academics since starting at Bellevue College. You know, there's a lot that I have learned both as a professional and as a student. And Bellevue College is it's just a campus that's allowed me to just grow as a professional and learn things that I didn't know before, and give me enough support to continue with my education, and just make a lot of progress as a person.
I would say that one of my greatest success academically is being able to maintain my grade, the same GPA since I started, and minding that I used to have like 2 jobs and everything. I am really proud of my being able to maintain good grades. So.
Okay, we have a good question. Here we go. All right. Ooh, from trustee Fukutaki. If you were president, where would you invest in the campus to better serve students?
I would invest in technology the most. I think one of the things that makes Bellevue College so much more efficient and much better, sorry, in serving its students is the technologies that it implements. And it's doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be, you know, something as small as a queue list system that they use for making appointments with the different student services departments. The ALEC system that they've implemented to test and to prepare students for higher level courses has also been very effective for me specifically. And I think it has gone a long way in making sure that I stay motivated and that I keep learning. So yeah, technology is definitely something that I would invest in the most, especially now that we're, you know, all working and learning from home.
Okay, we have good questions here. Okay. What are your plans and dreams, and what is next for you?
I can start off. So I'm pursuing my business transfer degree, and my next goal, my next step would be to transfer, hopefully to UW Foster. And I'm super passionate about business and especially international business and studying at Bellevue College and really getting a strong foundation of that schoolwork and networking and just experience in general has helped me just go on step by step to my next goal, my career goal. After graduating UW Foster, I'm hoping to start my own business that I'm very interested in and have kind of started, which is digital marketing. And that will be my career goals.
For my own career goal, I am planning to get into the design field after I graduate. And I, like, over the course of the pandemic, I have established a connection with the children who were greatly impacted with the pandemic in my country, the Philippines. And right now, we have been supporting other students to continue their studies, and I would like to get in depth with that. So probably in the next few years, I would visit my country and visit our students and our little children. So,
So what's next for me is I'm pretty much done with my prerequisites and my basic courses, and I'm entering the second half of my degree program. So I'm really about to take a dive into the more difficult parts of my academics. So I'm really excited for that because I feel like I'm in for a journey that's going to be very enjoyable. I love learning. So yeah, learning new things is something that I really like. Outside of Bellevue, I'm also running for a chairman delegate of my workers union. So that's something that I'm pursuing as well. But yeah, it's exciting.
Okay. What advice would you give a student who hasn't applied for a scholarship and is intimidated to do so?
I would say just do it, because before I was so scared to try, and like it has always been like in me that I always question myself. But like with my mindset right now, I say that if I'm not gonna try, how am I gonna know if I'm gonna get it or not? So what I'm saying, I want to just say that just try and you'll see.
Yeah, I think I would say the same. Before applying for the scholarship, I, always told myself, it can't be me. And here I am now. So I would just tell students, yeah, just go for it. You never know if you'll get picked, and yeah, for sure, just go for it, because it definitely can be you.
I also would love to encourage students and anyone to apply for scholarship, but one advice or tip I would like to give is to maybe try connecting with people who have maybe received the scholarship or know more about the scholarship, as in staff, students, and I think that's what helped me a lot. So that's one advice that I would give.
Okay. So we know that we've been doing remote learning. We are hoping to return to campus. Mary wants to go back in winter. We know that. So as we do that, scholars, what would you like for BC to continue to do as we go back into this new normal?
I would say just continue to offer what they've already been offering with online classes. I don't think it's something that should go away completely, at least. I know before the pandemic, there were certain classes that were never available online. And like I mentioned before, it's made a huge difference for me to be able to continue my education. So I think the campus or the Bellevue College should keep pursuing that, where they're offering the same courses that they do in person as they do online.
Okay. Well, we're doing good. That's good. You guys like us. You like the online part. That's good. We're happy that you're happy. In your opinion, this is another question. What can Bellevue College as an institution do better for students and student achievement?
One thing, so personally for me, I'm more of a hands-on and more experienced learner, and club activities have been something that helped me just stay updated to school. And also with COVID, I think a lot of students like myself are in need of more of interactions, or maybe more personal interactions. And I think that those kind of experiences can help students and just individuals in general learn more and stay motivated.
If you guys could give ideas to the school about, after you leave, about events, reunions, or volunteer opportunities that would draw you back, what would they be? What could you guys think of? You know, how would you like that? Would you like to have BC continue to be a presence in your life through events, reunions, things like that?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to, host more events for students to really get to know each other and, share ideas, and more support groups for students to be able to succeed. I think in-person instruction, I know I've talked a lot about, online classes, but I think communication is a lot better in person, obviously. So I think that would go a long way in creating a sense of community at the school, especially after everything that we've been through. And it would just go a long way in making sure that students stay motivated and build community amongst themselves.
Okay. Ooh. Here's a good question. Because as scholarship recipients, you're now ambassadors of BC. How have you leveraged that particular responsibility with others who haven't decided to become a Bulldog yet? You have a scholarship, you have a special responsibility. How would you leverage this in having other people join the Bellevue College family?
I think personally for me, what I have been doing and have done is my friends and families, relatives, I've always encouraged them to apply for BC, just like all my cousins and family members have done to me. And especially since Bellevue College is just known for providing such a friendly environment, I've also been able to promote that to my friends who have also decided to join me at BC.
I have high school nieces and nephews who are about to be college students, and I always tell them that Bellevue College has a really good educational values, and if you are looking for affordability, this is a very great option. Because jumping right away to universities could be a little bit financially hard, so I always suggest them that Bellevue College is a great option.
All right. Excellent. Oh, we have a very important question. Any recommendations for good food on campus, you three? I like the pizza. Okay.
I haven't actually ate on campus yet, but
But you
I
will.
imagine the Shell station at the entrance is not probably the number one option. So
Mhm,
it's definitely something I'll have to do.
mhm.
I've eaten Bellevue College, not that much, but my favorite is the blueberry muffin. It's the best.
Okay. So another idea, another question. You guys are currently here in school and you'll graduate and be, again, ambassadors. How do you think, or how important do you think it is to have a strong alumni association for graduates of BC?
I think it's very important, if not the most important aspect of a college, because having a strong alumni that can, guide incoming students goes a long way in making sure that new students stay and graduate. And it also provides a great support system for the current student population and a resource as well.
All right. My next question is for the three of you and you've answered it in pieces, but I'd like to take a moment and think back before you went to BC and before you got your scholarship about the impression or the notion of what you had BC would be and what the reality of it was. Was it what you expected? Was it better? Was it completely foreign? How was your expectation from the reality, from your experience at BC?
I would say that Bellevue College is way better than I expected. Because as I had said that I moved here as a senior high school student here in the United States, and all I wanted to have, like when I was browsing for colleges, is that I would stay close to my comfort zone, which is like the area that I've gotten friends with. But when I attended Bellevue College, I was surprised with how welcoming everyone is, and I have warmed up pretty fast, and I like adapting to the environment came to me like pretty easily.
Yeah, I definitely would have to agree with Mary. The school, the people, and everyone was very welcoming. I've already mentioned this many times, but everyone was very welcoming. Everyone was very friendly and willing to help in every aspect of my school life. And yes, it definitely was better than how I expected it to be in many aspects, but especially the sports team was very well organized and supportive with, great, amazing people, as well as club activities were also very well organized, even through the COVID-19 situation. And also just school life and the online class learnings were also very well organized and helpful.
Yeah, I expected Bellevue College to be a similar experience to what I had experienced before at other local colleges, but it actually ended up being a lot better, especially with the quality of the education. I feel like I've had nothing but instructors who have really gone above and beyond to make sure that I succeed in their courses. And that's one of the big differentiators between Bellevue and other schools is the people that run it. So.
Let's see. Oh, this is great. We have a shout out from a scholar to Tom Nielsen and Kenny Carlson. Let's see. Let me see if I can. There we go. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. So we have a personal thank you from Denver Chamberlain saying, I don't know if the donors for my scholarships are here. They are, Tom and Kenny, but thank you so much. That's great. That's awesome. I love seeing that. Okay. Oh, and FYI, the salad bar is fantastic. Okay. Next thing. All right. Let's see. One next question, and it goes similar to the alumni. So once we leave, and this, thank you, Laura, for asking this. Once we leave BC, you will transfer, like Selena, you're thinking of transferring for sure to Foster's, or probably going somewhere else. Do you still consider yourself BC alum, or are you going to adopt another school's jacket, or both?
I think personally for me, BC would be the first school that I've been to, and probably the only reason why I will be able to move on to my next step and reach my career goals. I don't think I'll be able to ever just forget the school spirit and everything. So yeah.
For me, I am not transferring to a university because I am finishing up my bachelor's here in Bellevue College. So I am 100%. I am going to be 100%.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. I think I'll be 100% invested in Bellevue for years to come. Once I'm done with my degree here, I will be achieving two things, both my degree and being a first-generation college student or college graduate. And that's a very special achievement for me. And I'd like to return to Bellevue in some way, in some capacity, to help the school move forward and help out a little bit more.
Thank you. Okay, we have another question, again from Trustee Fukutaki. What person, program, or service has been the biggest factor in your success at BC?
I would say that the program that has greatly impacted me is the interior design, the program of interior design. Just having a place where I feel like I belong to. And ever since I was a child, I've always known that I am going to be in the design and art field. And just having, like, being surrounded by people who share the same interests as you is a great inspiration. And it motivates me every day.
Yes, and for me personally, I think the amazing program DECA at Bellevue College has definitely helped me develop more as a student and also develop my professions in business. DECA also provided me with amazing networks and relationships that were more than mentors and more than teachers to me. So that program has definitely helped me a lot.
Yeah, I think the not the program specifically, but the class that I've enjoyed the most is my international business course that I took last year. I really enjoyed that course. I really enjoyed learning about pestle analysis and about how, companies evaluate where they can set up projects and investments overseas. So I really enjoyed that.
Okay, next question. If we do not move forward to 100% in person, what suggestions do you three have for us to make a more personal connection with faculty or the student body?
I think hosting more virtual events, or not virtual, but Zoom events like this one would help or fill the gap in some way, and helping students and faculty connect with each other. So yeah, that would be one way to do that.
Feel free. Members of our panel are here for you to give stories and to give some human piece to the scholarships that we are all really lucky to give them. So feel free to ask some questions. And also, scholars, if you have any other information that we need to know or should know about you, please let us know. I mean, there's only so many things that we can know about a student or a scholar on paper. And so these things are great for us to just get to know you. And it's really valuable. So I do appreciate it. How challenging or easy was the scholarship application process?
I would say that for me, it wasn't hard at all. It was like the questions are mostly about you and why you deserve this and that. And so it wasn't hard for me because it just relates to me and I just have to get to know myself more. So.
Yeah, I do agree with Mary, and just adding on to that, I think it wasn't difficult at all. It was just questions about yourself and who you are as a person and your connection, your story, basically. So I don't think you should worry too much about that. I think you'll do great.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was exactly the opposite because I'm not someone that tends to like writing about myself. It's difficult, if you're like me, but if you have a strong sense of what you want to write about, then I think it's not too hard. And like I said before, just go ahead and just go for it, and you never know, you may be picked. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
So, if I could pick your brains, we talked about this a little bit more, and Mary is going to be the president of the BC Fan Club Alumni moving forward. But what I would like to know from you guys is, honestly, if we want to, don't you think if we want to make our alumni presence significant, how would you encourage the school to make a more robust alumni presence? Do you think it's valuable? Should we do it? How can we improve on that so that you guys leverage that as well after you leave the school?
I think one way to really get that going is social media. Many college students are on social media, and we do pay a lot of attention on social media, and being able to engage in a more personal level rather than maybe getting an email, I think would be a great idea to maybe start off and help students engage more into this program/activity.
What sort of opportunities would benefit you guys? Maybe being other alumni? Would it be having events, more seminars? How can we, how could we make an alumni that really serves you, an alumni base that really helps you guys out? Think about that, get back to us. Because I think that's really important, right? Is there someone on campus who made a positive impact on you?
There is a specific person that on Bellevue College that I will be forever grateful of. And it is Crispin Fisher. The way that she approached, I had a class on her right when the pandemic started, and it was a time where I don't feel like really motivated at all. And just having her, like how fun and open she is to students, it just allowed me to feel like I still belong here. And that's why I'm like thankful for her.
How would you describe Bellevue College to someone? But I'm going to add to that one. How would you describe Bellevue College to someone who is not familiar with our region, with our area? A really fun campus with lots of opportunity. Let's hear it.
I would definitely say that it's the most safe and friendly environment that you will ever be in, as well as it provides such a great location just in the middle of the city in Bellevue, which is absolutely amazing. And that's how I would introduce Bellevue College.
I would introduce Bellevue College as a place filled with warm people. And just a simple hi to a student would bring a really deep friendship. So
Okay, let's see. Hmm. What has been your favorite class so far?
I have plenty of favorite classes, but I would say that what really started me into drawing more is the charcoal class, art. I think it's Art 101. Um, it just started my interest with charcoal, and right up till today, it's still my main medium. So
My personal favorite class has been Marketing 201, which is DECA. And for everyone here that is interested in business, I think it's an amazing opportunity to just being able to dive into more in depth of business instead of learning it in books or in a lecture. You're able to really just compete with others in real business case studies, and it's also a very fun experience, and I've been enjoying it a lot, and I definitely encourage everyone to try it out if it matches your interest.
Next question. What advice, words of encouragement, little nuggets would you give other students or even prospective students who are interested in our college but may not yet know what exactly they want to pursue at BC? What advice would you give them?
I think I would give the same advice that I have been giving my best friend. She started Bellevue College without knowing what she really wants. So I was telling her to just circle back to back when you were young and find stuffs that where you thought are interesting and find classes that relates to it and work on that. And right now she found herself at the program that she really wants.
So, final question. What's next? You can answer that however you want. We have an idea of your career goals and what you want to do, but what's next for all of you guys?
What's next for me, career-wise? I have already mentioned that I wanted to be on the field of design, and I would like get to go in depth with my connection with the children, because over 2 years ago, I found a program called Share the Love, and what they do is they provide funds to funds for milk for the babies of the Aita community. It's an indigenous group of people in the Philippines, and we also expanded to providing food for the displaced families because of the new construction in their land. And over the course of the pandemic, and shifting from traditional classes to remote, it was very hard for them to not having access to internet. So what we have done is that we have provided internet connection, printer, and everything for school. And I would want to get in depth with that, being able to help more people, because we recently just have a new college graduate, and I'm really proud of him, and I would really want to get deeper into being able to help my community.
For me, besides career-wise, I've actually thought about this while Alvaro was speaking earlier. I think one of my next goal is to come back to BC while staying connected, even after graduating BC, and being able to give back to the school in any way that I possibly can. That's one goal that I've just came up with while Alvaro was speaking, and that's what I would like to pursue.
Okay, well, any last questions from our audience? Any more wisdom from our panelists? That would be the time.
I would just like to say again that for everyone who's still terrified and afraid of applying for a scholarship, I, with no doubt, want to encourage you to apply for it. You're going to do amazing. It's not difficult. It's not terrifying. It's just really writing about yourself and people just getting to know you a little more. So yes, I would just want to encourage you guys all to apply.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for attending our Donor and Scholarship Foundation, our Donor and Scholarship reception tonight. While we certainly miss celebrating this event in person, it has been a pleasure just to hear from our current scholars, these 3 stars that we heard from. So I want to just thank you again, Alvaro. He's not with us. He logged off. Well, he didn't choose to. Emily and Mary, thank you so much. I mean, you guys were great. Selena, I want to see you golf. So share the information on that. And of course, once again, thank you to our signature partner, Puget Sound Energy. This is great. To the attendees, the donors, and scholars with us tonight, we hope you enjoyed the program. And we look forward to a time when we can again meet in person. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. Good night and be well. Thank you.